Today is Saturday, May 25th, 2024, and we are having our distinguished lecture program as part of the CSA platform. So that's our logo that you see. And those of you who registered through Eventbrite saw this flyer with our distinguished speaker. The topic of today's distinguished lecture is China-Bangladesh Partnership, Strategic Implications. And our distinguished speaker is Squadron Leader Sadrul Ahmed Khan from Bangladesh. A little bit about Council for Strategic Affairs. The CSA imparts education in the field of international relations. The Council fosters discussion, dialogue, and debate on geopolitical issues. CSA encourages strategic studies in general to raise the level of awareness. We encourage publication of articles on geopolitics. Council for Strategic Affairs condemns terrorism in all its forms worldwide, and we aim to contribute towards world peace and prosperity. We have a monthly roundtable discussion on second Saturday of each month at 10 a.m. A monthly guest lecture by a domain expert, usually on fourth Saturday of each month, as we are having today. There is a feature called which is one-on-one interview, strategically speaking with Dr. Adityanjee. We organize symposia, meetings, conferences. We promote publication of articles on geopolitics and related subjects. And we do have a summer internship program and a fellowship training program. We encourage people-to-people contact and track to diplomacy. Our distinguished speaker is Squadron Leader Sadrul Ahmed Khan. He is a retired military officer from Bangladesh who turned into a second-generation politician of Bangladesh's ruling party, the Awami League. At present, he is a member of Finance and Planning Affairs Subcommittee of Bangladesh Awami League. His areas of interest are grassroots level population of constituency Moulvi Bazar-2, Kulaura Upozela. He has diverse experience in military, civil, parliamentary, UN peacekeeping operations. And he aims to contribute to achieve the goal of the country's Vision 2041 in a variety of ways. He is working sincerely to carry the family heritage as second-generation politician. His father, late Abdul Latif Khan, was a freedom fighter, liberation war organizer, and one of the founding members of Bangladesh Awami League. In his distinguished career, he has been recipient of Chief Affairs Staff Commendation Certificate from Bangladesh Air Force, an appreciation letter from Force Provost Marshal of ONUCI, Chairperson of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and President Interparliamentary Union. As a political leader, he received Dubai Global Youth Leadership Award 2023 for social work and Changemaker Award of Dhaka 2022 as climate champion. Also commanded as an independent unit of BAF, CNMU, and carried out duties of Chief of Liaison Committee in IPU Assembly and CPA Conference held in Bangladesh in 2017. As part of parliamentary delegation, he visited Nepal, Russia, India, Sri Lanka, Singapore, UK, Vietnam, etc. I must say that he is one of the youngest distinguished speakers on the CSA platform. I'll introduce the subject a little bit. I don't want to speak for Squadron Leader. The topic of his lecture is China-Bangladesh Partnership Strategic Implications. After obtaining independence in 1971 from the colonizing and occupying power Pakistan, Bangladesh has made tremendous economic progress. However, there are still some internal problems about human rights, democracy deficit, and treatment of minorities. Bangladesh lately has been open to China's outreach as part of the BRI initiative. There's a little bit of concern in the neighborhood because Dhaka has gradually leaned towards Beijing and acquired fighter jets, tanks, and submarines, making a shift in the geopolitical landscape. The questions we have is what are the Chinese intentions in Bangladesh? As we know from experience in BRI, China has entrapped smaller countries into a debt trap. And if these countries are not able to pay these commercial debts as part of BRI, their real estate holdings are taken away by China. So that is a concern. What are China's intention in Bangladesh? This shows you the map of Bangladesh, tells you that Bangladesh is on three sides, has India. There's no land border either with Nepal or Bhutan. And on the fourth side, there's Bay of Bengal. And this picture shows the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina with Xi Jinping. The relationship with China is warm between Bangladesh and China. And this table tells you across 23 projects, China has invested $22.56 billion in Bangladesh. That is fine if it is all in transportation, energy, infrastructure. Here you see a Ming-class submarine that Bangladesh purchased from China. I think Bangladesh has purchased 2 or 3 Ming-class submarines from China. And this is a satellite imagery of BNS Sheikh Hasina, a Chinese submarine base in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. So the question that comes to mind, will Bangladesh continue to play China card in South Asia, like some of the other smaller countries, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka have done, and in the process have actually self-damaged their national interests? So without further ado, I invite our distinguished speaker, our youngest distinguished speaker, retired squadron leader, Sadrul Ahmed Khan. Welcome to our platform, and you have around 45 minutes to give your lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for having me here in this strategic affairs dialogue. As you have mentioned, and I also feel very honored and privileged to serve in 4 different organizations in 4 different capacities. I have served in Bangladesh Air Force, Bangladesh Army, United Nations Peacekeeping Operation, and Bangladesh Parliament Secretariat. And now I'm a member of Bangladesh Awami League Finance and Planning Affairs Subcommittee. As I have mentioned that my career path was versatile, so I will try to make my lecture also versatile. It will be a balanced mix of some politics, some diplomacy, something military, and of course, most important, public perception. As a soldier, I will be sensitive about our borders. As a peacekeeper, I will see at a wide angle of peace, stability, and sustainability. And as a root level politician, I will definitely inform you what common people are thinking about it. I am retired, but I have respect for Official Secret Act 1923, so I will avoid discussion any sensitive issues. The data and figure I will be discussing about are all taken from open source internet. So there is nothing secret or restricted in nature. I will try to finish my lecture in around 40 minutes. My expectation to chair to allow me to finish my speech in my own sequence and time. Thereafter, I'll be happy to join your discussion. The finding, analysis, recommendation, whatever I'm talking about, it's purely my own. It doesn't reflect our country's or party's stand anywhere. So I welcome you all on my lecture, China-Bangladesh Partnership and Strategic Implications. The relation between modern China and today's Bangladesh was established on solid foundation with our visit of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He visited China twice in 1952 and 1957. Bangabandhu was highly motivated with the patriotism shown by the then Chinese people to rebuild their nation. And that he has reflected in his book, Amar Dekha Noya Chin. Historical background. The route that connects ancient Bengal and China is known as Silk Route. The Western Silk Route was originated from southern China, Kunbi, and from Myanmar, it entered to Bengal, which is now Bangladesh. It connected Bengal through Myanmar and part of India also. The trade and commerce expanded in this route, including cultural and religious exchanges. As both China and Bengal were coastal countries, they had exchange in sea route also. About 600 years ago, Monglai was the mighty empire of China, Ming Dynasty. Admiral Zheng was the ambassador's messenger of peace. He traveled the Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean and came to Chittagong, and though he created the Silk Road by sea, Admiral Zheng fleet came to Chittagong port twice. Sultan Ghiyasuddin Azam Shah was ruler of Bengal that time. He gave a warm reception to this Chinese delegation, and also he gifted a giraffe for Chinese king. The giraffe used to be considered as a symbol of good luck in Chinese culture. So in 1971, for a war-ravaged country, the first challenge for Bangladesh was to achieve recognition from the international community and rebuild the economy to feed 7.5 billion people. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman maneuvered our country's foreign policy in matters related to international politics. Safeguarding the national interest and sovereignty of the country was his first and foremost concern, while strengthening the ties with trusted friend India and the then Soviet Union. Bangabandhu believed that without peace, stability, no country can develop or prosper. Therefore, he wanted Bangladesh to be an island of peace. Bangabandhu agreed to join OIC, that is Organization of Islamic Countries Summit held in Lahore in 1974. And much before that, he joined Non-Aligned Movement, NAM. Bangabandhu's vision was far-reaching. His address at United Nations General Assembly in 1974 called for sharing technology and resources on a global scale, so the human race could enjoy a decent life. No doubt, modern China is rich in technology and resources. At present, under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina government, Bangladesh has been able to consume its fruits, though it's nothing but reflection of guiding principle of our foreign policy prescribed by our father of the nation. However, China-Bangladesh friendship was not bound by formal state diplomatic rules for a long time, because UN recognized Taiwan-based Republic of China. People's Republic of China got recognition by UN on 25 October 1971. On the other hand, Bangladesh on 4th October 1975 ended its relation with China-based Republic of China and recognized present China, which is People's Republic of China. So it was an informal sort of relation for a long time. Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai visited Bangladesh, then East Pakistan several times. In 1950, 1960, even before independence, Chinese Communist Party leaders maintained friendly relations with Bangladeshi nationalist leaders like Maulana Bashani and Hussein Shahid Sarwardi. Geographical position of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a South Asian country, China is not. Both the countries don't have any land border, but still, world is talking about it. To answer this question, I must say, Bangladesh is located at the entrance of the vast North Indian landscape, in particular West Bengal and the Indian Seven Sisters, that is northeastern region of the frontier of the funnel of Bay of Bengal, touching the northwest tip of troublesome Myanmar territory. Its specific geotriangulation makes it strategically important for all major powers of the world. In simple words, if I say, when you are the teacher or only student in the class, everybody is going to love you because they don't have any options. For instance, you can see Sri Lanka and Pakistan are going through rough economic bad patch. Nepal and Bhutan are hard to reach by geographically terrains. Maldives in political turmoil. Myanmar is in war. So only Bangladesh economy looks stable and potential. So everybody is taking interest on it. Apart from regional development partners and neighbors, for global warming and sea level rising, the Bangladesh is in agenda of world leaders also. That is Indo-Pacific Strategy, Belt and Road Initiative, and there are many more. On top of everything, we have democratic dividend. Bangladesh is blessed with more than 160 million young, ambitious people who maiden age is 27.6 years on average. And a part of them are global citizens. Let's talk about foreign policy. Let me define foreign policy in my own words. I think foreign policy sits at the heart of statecraft. Its evaluation is mostly nonlinear. Foreign policy deals with both common people and elite class, and whatever comes in between. Foreign policy is a vast area. It's almost as complex as human psychology. It always a constant struggle to gain importance, gain attention, and gain power, retain power, and accept to be a powerful. All forms of security, sustainability, wealth, well-being can be connected as a form of power. Foreign policy is a deep understanding of history, culture, and ethnic identities of human race, coupled with ever-increasing understanding of evaluation of political, economic, social, cultural, technological, environmental, and legal nature of tangible structures. Under the prying eyes of both social media and regular media, and above all, eyes of the people. So it is necessary to contextualize the foreign policy of any country at any given point of time. Foreign policy of Bangladesh. On 16 December 1971, Bangladesh started its journey from its cold soil. 3 million dead bodies and 200,000 raped women. There was nothing but indomitable ambition to survive in the harsh winter of December 1971. Survival for the fittest. That was a challenge. Some foreign policy expert once referred Bangladesh as a bottomless basket case with no hope. 50 years after, we have passed, and now Bangladesh evolved into a development model, a land of opportunity. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the able daughter of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The foreign policy dimension of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina philosophy is to run Bangladesh as a hub of connectivity for South and Southeast Asian countries. It is only complements but also acts as a pioneer of international connectivity, financial stability, and economic growth. As a sovereign, independent nation, Bangladesh has formulated its foreign policy goals and objectives to advance its legitimate international based on core doctrine of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Friendship to all, malice to none. So when we are talking about regional and sub-regional connectivity, we need to address the importance of infrastructure. Merely building deep seaport, or airport is not enough. We need robust infrastructure to transport, transit, and transshipment our goods. Many countries and organizations are working on it, but the infrastructural boom that we see in Bangladesh has become possible because of China. in my view, the secret formula is there less bureaucracy in Chinese investment. They are like Nike shoes, just do it. A Chinese popular saying is like this: hide your strength and do your work. At present, Bangladesh under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina pursue value-based foreign policy. Despite the resource constraint, Bangladesh foreign policy and foreign office have stood up the challenges. For a decade, our late President Ziaur Rahman and late President Ershad, they made our foreign ministry as a rehab for pro-Pakistani assassinators of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But this scenario has changed. This is no more. With zero tolerance to terrorism, stabilizing the economy and poverty eliminating remains Bangladesh's topmost priority. Our foreign policy priorities intend to compete with a greater depth of external trading, coupled up with greater inflow of foreign remittance. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has declared Vision 2041 that expect to gain 4 momentums. 1, equitable market access. 2, expansion of export basket. 3, accept critical technologies. 4, employment of our professionals and workers in foreign economies. The secret of Bangladesh today's success miracle based on a couple of factors. Thanks to the strong agricultural sector, rapidly expanding RMG-led export, and unbroken remittance inflow by the Bangladeshi export workers. It also coupled with robust infrastructural reform, expanding the recognition of public sector investment into the formation of infrastructure assets, diversification of exports to higher value brands from clothing to software components. All these have contributed Bangladesh's journey to become an epic saga of determination and charismatic leadership. Bangladesh needs infrastructure for development, for connectivity, but Bangladesh doesn't have that fund. So Bangladesh needs external fund. To meet this aspect, countries like Japan, Russia, China, Bharat, etc., and many other organizations like ADB, World Bank are coming together and working. But the China's Belt and Road Initiative keep the momentum high. The economy of our country has been growing at a stable rate or more than 6% per year for last decade. Only COVID-19 period and followed by Ukraine war in Europe broke the momentum. But even though Bangladesh economy grew upward. China-Bangladesh government-to-government relation. Bangladesh became independent in 1971. Bangladesh recognized present China, that is People's Republic of China, on 4th October 1975. China established diplomatic relations with Bangladesh in January 1976. In 1976, President Ziaur Rahman established close tie with China. Later, President Ershad visited China in 1987 to lead the development of China-Bangladesh relations. When Begum Khaleda Zia came to power in 1991, the Chinese Prime Minister Wen Jiabao visited Bangladesh. The relation was mainly defense purchase. From small arms ammunition to tank, APC, ship, corvette, fighter jet, in every defense purchase, China used to dominate. After coming to power in 1996, Sheikh Hasina maintained moderate relations with China, but at the same time, her government broke the monopoly in defense purchase. Sheikh Hasina's government purchased major defense hardware from Russia, South Korea, and Bharat. It was a real thinking out of the box in terms of defense purchase. But again, she had to pay a price for this. After losing election in 2001, fake corruption charges was framed against her, and even she had to go to jail for this. Later, the case was squashed by court, and she was acquitted. Again, in 2001 elections, Begum Khaleda Zia came to power. In 2005, both China and Bangladesh declared Bangladesh-China friendship year. But there is an incident took place. In 2004, Khaleda Zia's government allowed Taiwan to open a Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Dhaka. It became a matter of discomfort in China-Khaleda Zia's relation. Sheikh Hasina again came to power in 2008 and continued her fourth term at present now. That makers are longest serving head of state in this world right at this moment. At present, China-Bangladesh relations are very good. Two countries are moving forward economically, socially, culturally through multidimensional cooperation. Bangladesh-China relation mainly based on business, trade, commerce, and infrastructure. Bangladesh-China bilateral trade. Over the years, China and Bangladesh bilateral trade have increased significantly and crossed 25 billion. China export around 24 billion port goods to Bangladesh. For comparison, if we take year 1995, China exported only $652 million worth goods to Bangladesh in 1995. But in 2015, China displaced Bharat as Bangladesh's top trading partner, knocking the Bharat position for 40 years, which was holding by Bharat. While Bangladesh's main export to China include jute yarn, knit, t-shirt, leather, tannery, light rubberized knitting fabrics that's worth around $1 billion. In plain text, the Bangladeshi export looks very minor, but because of raw material, machineries, spare parts that imported from China made finished products and exported to US and European market. That's how the export of Bangladesh grows. China's top export to Bangladesh are essential pharmaceutical ingredients, refined petroleum, industrial raw materials, capital machineries, etc. Bangladesh sees room for expansion in despite of China's huge trade surplus, particularly in areas like ready-made clothing, leather goods, agricultural products. The growing trade relation present possibilities to room for a trade portfolio diversification and further development. Bangladesh-China economic and technological cooperation. I have already mentioned about the Chinese infrastructure boom in Bangladesh. China and Bangladesh are also exploring potential cooperation in fields like climate change, renewable energy, digital technology, Nutrio like electronic vehicles, PV solution, lithium-ion battery. One notable project in the Cox's Bazar wind power project, which is the first centralized wind power project in Bangladesh. Solar power plant is another field of cooperation for reducing oil consumption and carbon emission. Bangladesh's defense purchase from China. However, the primary source of China's relationship with post-independence Bangladesh was limited through supply of arms. Bangladesh, unlike any developing country, purchased Chinese military hardware as it was cheap and affordable. Defense cooperation has been the main component of relationship from small arms, ammunition to tank, ship, corvette, fighter jet, everything. Since the early 1980s, the two armed forces have engaged frequently high-level official visits and held joint training to strengthen the cooperation. China has become Bangladesh's top source of military hardware supplier. Dhaka, likewise, China's second largest arms export destination, I think after Pakistan. And between 2010 to 2020, China accounted 72% of Bangladeshi total arms import, worth of 10 billion USD. In 2013, again, Sheikh Hasina, who made the difference. Our government signed the defense purchase deal with Russia worth of 1 billion USD. This was the biggest purchase from Bangladesh military hardware in single deal from Russia, and that was a game changer. With India, Bangladesh has signed MOU of defense purchase on line of credit of USD 500 million in 2017, but it's taking time and delaying in implementation. Bangladesh economic partnership with China. At present, Bangladesh has significant progress in recovering of poverty and improving its economic condition. Poverty declined to 5.0%, while Bangladesh had a strong track record of growth and development, supported by a robust demographic dividend, strong ready-made garments export, high remittance inflow, and stable macroeconomic conditions. It continues to require assistance from other countries and international organizations for various development goals. Bangladesh has limited natural resources. It's a densely populated country, and frequent natural disasters are significant challenges in effort to reduce poverty and achieve sustainable economic growth. It is evident that the fact that foreign partners and constitute a signature share of development support in our country. China, in particular, has become an important economic partner for Bangladesh, as evidence from 2017 to 2023. Chinese enterprises have invested 2.6 billion foreign direct investment, where the total FDI of Bangladesh was 2.92 billion. Chinese investment increases focused on various sectors like energy industry, which is projects like ranging from green energy effort, coal-based power plant, infrastructure projects such as seaport, railway, information technology, etc. Around 1,000 Chinese companies are operating at present in Bangladesh and creating 500,000 job opportunities for the locals. Indirect incentives like land lease, rental of house, transportation, temporary labor, value-added tax, corporate tax. These make the effects double. The socio-economic benefits are multiple. In 1997, the first company called Power China came forward to invest in energy sector in Bangladesh. Over the past few years, more than 20 Chinese power companies have invested in Bangladesh. Power China company currently working on 14 projects. The investment in this company is about 4.70 billion US dollars. The company continues to work in planning, design, project, operation, and maintenance sectors. China-Bangladesh strategic partnership. Greater momentum came in 2016 during the visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping to Bangladesh, building a community with shared future for mankind. This was the core philosophy of President Xi Jinping. And that's the beginning of strategic partnership between China and Bangladesh. When relations were upgraded to a strategic partnership, the influx of Chinese investment total USD 38.5 billion. Chinese BRI projects are running in Asia, Africa, North America, and many other countries. But the largest sum ever placed in single country is Bangladesh. China is now Bangladesh's top trading partner, foreign direct investor, trade importer, and military hardware supplier. Chinese loan, aid, FDI, and investment in Bangladesh. Critics have raised concern regarding the durability, transparency of Chinese investment, despite the fact that they have brought Bangladesh considerable economic benefits. Opinions regarding Chinese investment in Bangladesh development initiative remains polarized. Critics often say a number of Chinese-backed projects in Bangladesh are expensive and operating below expectations. These allegations are true or false. This is a different debate. Everyone has logic for and against. I'm not going that. But important is that people are talking about it, and Bangladesh pay due attention to this talking point. To solve this puzzle, our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is diversifying our infrastructure portfolio in Bangladesh. In simple words, she is not putting all the eggs in Chinese basket. For example, Dhaka Metro Railway Project, Matarbari Deep Sea Project, Matarbari Coal Power Project, and the eye-catching Shahjalan International Airport third phase is funded by Japan. Rupur Nuclear Power Plant funded by Russia. Several rail line and Rampal Power Plant energy pipeline funded by Bharat. Construction of ICD Inland Container Depot partially funded by ADB, Asian Development Board, etc. Awami League government in 1996 period installed 600,000 solar home solution. Thereafter, solar are widely used in agriculture sector too. But now government is working on big picture. Sheikh Hasina has given solar energy roadmap 2041, aiming to achieve 30,000 megawatts solar electricity by the year 2041. The first solar energy sector, Bangladesh, has introduced Gigawatt Club, funded by UAE, Bharat, and China. 3 pilot projects taken of the capacity of 1,000 megawatt each. Implementation companies are Pacific Energy USA, LRS Energy Hong Kong, and both are joint venture with Bangladesh Army. Regarding the project funding, 2 new dish on the table. Dhaka Elevated Expressway is funded under PPP, Public-Private Partnership, and Paraport is funded under BIDF, Bangladesh Infrastructural Development Fund. This fund, Infrastructure Development Fund, is taken from our reserve. Bangladesh is striking careful balance in order to preserve its strategic alliance with China, while taking account the concern raised by the critics for safeguarding its Bangladesh's own interest. Therefore, Bangladesh's geopolitical balancing has attracted attention in diplomatic circle and has grown importance for its own performance. Infrastructural investment scenario in Bangladesh. Social media has no censorship. It spread very fast. So social media plays a vital role in making public opinion. While talking about China's farm, it's a viral issue. Even our opposition seasoned politicians, BNP, they also play a random China card. A widespread propaganda of 2023 was Bangladesh is going to be the next Sri Lanka. But fortunately, it didn't happen. I'll tell you why. The government of Bangladesh has undertaken development project on priority basis. Bangladesh is taking calculated steps, keeping the Sri Lankan example in mind. All Chinese fund doesn't affect in our economy. For example, 2 Bangabandhu exhibition centers, total 8 friendship bridges, renovation of Chittagong port, and these projects are gifts from China, so they don't affect us. Rather, we enjoy the privileges. So if foreign direct investment, this FDI failed, at present, Chinese FDI in Bangladesh is 2.6 billion. If FDI affects enterprises and individuals, not the country's economy directly. But if loan project fails, it harms the country's economy direct or indirectly, direct and indirectly both. So Bangladesh is designing its loan project portfolio accordingly. However, Bangladesh took largest amount of loan from Japan. It's not China. Japan, Russia, China, Bharat, and other institutes involved, ADB, World Bank, etc. Chinese BRI framework in Bangladesh at a glance. So let me apprise you about the Chinese BRI project and different initiatives. Industrial and Special Economic Zone Initiative, Shahjalal Fertilizer Factory, Mirashora Economic Zone, China Economic and Industrial Zone, Anora Chittagong. Utilities initiatives of BRI, Power Grid Strengthening Project, Surface Water Treatment Plant, DPDC Strengthening Project, Podda Water Treatment Plant, Rashai Wasa Water Treatment Plant. Communication initiatives of BRI, National ICT Network, Phase 1, 2, and 3, Network for Digital Connectivity, 3G and 2.5G network, National Data Center. Ports and airports initiatives of BRI, Mongla Port Modernization Project. Oil and gas initiative of BRI is 1, single mooring with double pipeline. Acquisition initiative of BRI, equity acquisition of Dhaka Stock Exchange. Transport initiatives of BRI are follows. The Joydapur issued the rail line project, Akaura Silet rail line project, Joydapur Mymensingh rail line project, Dhaka Ashulia elevated expressway, Sitagondo Cox's Bazar Marine Drive, upgradation of Dhaka Silet highway, Podda Bridge, rail link, Bangabandhu Tunnel, Chittagong. Energy initiatives of BRIs are as follows. Gojaria Coal Power Project, Daudkandi Coal Power Project, Kulna Coal Power Project, Para Coal Power Project, Mirosorai Coal Power Project, Boalkhali Coal Power Project, Borishal Coal Power Project, Solar Park Ponchabor, Solar Park Istabaraj, Solar Park Gaibanda, Solar Park Bagerhat, and Wind Power Project Cox's Bazar. In addition, China is investing in soft power also. More than 8,000 Bangladeshi scholars receiving Chinese scholarships. China opened Confucius Institute in several Bangladeshi universities. Earlier, it was limited only to Dhaka University. Now, it has gone to almost all private universities. China is giving smart board and digital lab equipment to primary and secondary schools in Bangladesh. Chinese embassy in Dhaka has arranging regular visit to China in terms of youth exchange, political exchange, professional exchange, and so on. Recently, China has opened a visa application center in Dhaka in last April only to smooth the visa service of Bangladeshi people. Beijing purchased 25% of shares of Dhaka stock market. So I wanted to mention that China's investment is expanding from hard infrastructure to soft assets also. The year 2023 to 24 marks as the harvest season between China and Bangladesh. 14 mega projects, infrastructure projects have been completed or advanced in the next level. Approximately 1,000 Chinese companies are operating in Bangladesh. They have created over 500,000 job opportunities for the locals. Facts tell the truth that on the journey of Bangladesh modernization, the most befitting development cooperation has been provided by China. Bangladesh is a hardware balancer. Bangladesh is working as a balancer in sub-regional connectivity. Bangladesh's first priority is our immediate neighborhood. We have resolved decade-old land boundary issues with Bharat. We have resolved maritime boundary issue with Bharat and Myanmar. Bangladesh is in opinion to restore the land and river routes which are connected millennium years ago, old values chain in Indian subcontinent. Bangladesh has given port access to our landlocked neighborhoods like Bharat, Nepal, and Bhutan. And we have allowed the others to use the communication channel for transporting heavy equipments and aids. We have invited China, Japan, and Korea to be a preferred development partner, trade and technology partner. Bangladesh appreciates the regional and sub-regional organizations and initiatives such as SARC, BIMSTEC, BBIN, BIN, etc. But unfortunately, none could take up compared to BRI. I guess because of bureaucracy. However, we must keep trying, not accuse each other, but complement each other, creating a space for understanding and negotiation that can connect nations beyond borders. So as long as the purpose is development and the aim is legitimate civilian objective, Bangladesh is fully prepared to allow everyone to join hands in our success journey. Here I'd like to draw your attention on the connectivity initiative of Bangladesh. See, after the inauguration of Podda Bridge, which is funded by Bangladesh, but technically supported by China major bridge engineering company, it has changed the fate of southeastern district of Bangladesh with the rest of the country. But the bigger picture is now neighbor country can utilize transit facility, travel from Tripura to Kolkata, and it has become, and the journey is so smooth that even lady drivers are driving truck from Tripura to Kolkata and Kolkata to Tripura. And it has become headline of our newspaper for a couple of weeks. All roads and highway projects, bridges in Bangladesh, which are taking place, are adding value to sub-regional connectivity. Same way, Bangabandhu Tunnel at Chattogram, which will facilitate the transit of Seven Sisters, Nepal, Bhutan, to avail the fast and optimum use of Matarbari deep sea port. International relations. China and Bangladesh serve common interest in many international forums. Let's discuss a few. Relation with Middle East and Arab world. In Bangladesh list of priorities, there are Muslim countries of Gulf and African region. We believe that the whole world can reap the benefits of Gulf states if the Gulf is stable. More than 60% of our expert workers are in the Gulf countries. We are opening avenues for adding more value to their host countries by creating agro-based, ICT-intense, and service-driven endeavors. Bangladesh government is ready to work with joint ventures to retain the job market. Bangladesh has already taken initiative through yet another YC-affiliated body, D8, of which Bangladesh became the chair, created an effort in ensuring public health, productivity, trade, and specialized economic zones. As Bangladesh is committed to the OIC for the cause of Palestine and two holy mosques, our support is unquestionable. Our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina firmly said, what's happening in Gaza is genocide. Palestinian people have their right to live and live their own country. China always firmly supports the just cause of Palestinian people. In restoring their legitimate right, China supports two-state solutions. China is one of the few non-Muslim countries who supported Palestine and voted in favor of them in UNGA. China condemned the Israeli attack on the Gaza citizens and called it as a collective punishment. China is playing constructive role with international community in ending the Palestine-Israel conflict and promoting a comprehensive, just, and lasting settlement for the Palestinians. Relation with Americas. With America, Bangladesh shared a continuous dialogue across almost all channels. Bangladesh has strong ongoing cooperation in combating terrorism and militancy with America. Bangladesh has going collaboration for institution building, trade, military procurement, finance, and technology. Bangladesh is designing for American and Canadian companies a wide range of variety of products, from T-shirt to nanoprocessors. However, recent US intervention in Bangladesh electoral process, US visa policy, and sanction on Bangladeshi individuals and institute has made the US-Bangladesh relation a bit volatile. The trade war between China and America is going on since 2018 by Donald Trump setting the tariff and trade barriers made in China products. So Chinese manufacturers are mobilizing from mainland China to neighboring countries. So, and Bangladesh has become their one of the favorite destinations. Relations with Europe. Bangladesh also have strong bonds of friendship with Europe. In addition, EU working, strengthening our cooperation in the institution building, worker safety, health and hygiene sector. European Union is also working with Bangladesh on innovation and technology and finance. 3 European countries, Spain, Ireland, Norway, has formally recognized Palestine recently. Over the past few years, the European Union and a handful of European countries have moved away from the Chinese economic engagement toward a policy of limiting China's influence in Europe and worldwide. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, European Union has launched a new project in Bangladesh called Global Gateway. This is a unique European style of balancing. With this new partnership and cooperation agreement, the European Investment Bank will invest in Bangladesh 400 million euro for renewable energy project. This deal was signed in October 2023. See, Bangladesh and EU are celebrating 51 years of relationship, but this sort of infrastructure investment was never done before. EU was early limited only in aid, humanitarian support in education, decent work, gender-based violation, green construction, and small scales. So critics are saying EU-China distance is a blessing for Bangladesh in disguise. Relations with United Nations. The United Nations sits at the core of our global multilateral initiatives. During the 66th UN General Assembly in 2011, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina gave the world 6-point multidimensional peace model for championing democracy and people's empowerment. The 6 multiplier for her proposed model includes 1. eradicating poverty and hunger, reducing inequality, migration of deprivation, inclusion of excluded people, acceleration of human development, and last, elimination of terrorism. Our professionals, and particularly our armed forces and police, have played a pivotal role in effecting these changes. Bangladesh has remained a top troop contributing country for decades in UN umbrella. And they have received a proud record of serving with dignity and honor and earning trust and respect of the host nation. Our forces are our ambassador of peace, security, and nation building to the entire world. Now comes China point. China is the second largest financial contributor in UN peacekeeping operation and within 10 top troop contribution country. UN peacekeeping operation, Chinese peacekeepers have multi-dimensional engagement with Bangladeshi peacekeepers, started from DPKO to root level deployment. This month of May, Chinese peacekeepers will join military drill in Bangladesh with Bangladeshi peacekeepers. Here I'd like to mention Bangladesh is well aware of the salami slicing formula. So the first ever joint exercise held in Bangladesh with Chinese army, Bangladesh is very careful and specific about it. There are two specific agenda. One is rescuing hostage from terrorist capture bus, and second one is the terrorist camp sweeping. Relation with international forum. Bangladesh is also at the forefront of the global climate initiatives. Bangladesh has been very active in all UN forum of Convention of Climate Change. As one of the most vulnerable countries, Bangladesh has been at the forefront of the create comprehensive global action to adhere the climate accords. Bangladesh is leading climate vulnerable forum for second time. And here comes the China point. China is donating in climate funding is 3.1 billion USD. Bangladesh has changed its energy strategy. At the UN Climate Summit in Glasgow, Bangladesh pledged to proceed 40% of its efficient electricity from renewable energy by the year 2041. To meet this target, the country is shifting energy investment to renewable sources away from coal, oil, and gas. The role of Chinese investment in this driving transition is very important. Potential sector to be explored by China-Bangladesh strategic partnership. To multiply the outcome of economic diplomacy, Bangladesh is designing systems with flexible, adaptable design, building infrastructure with capacity to host multi-level networks, and developing capabilities to create and sustain superior technology efficiency. Two of the core areas of our economic diplomacy is ICT sector, and second is blue economy, and newly added electronic vehicles, that is EV technology. Let's talk about ICT. Aiming to transform of the countries into knowledge-based economy by 2041, this transition is being driven by sustainable investment in ICT infrastructure and services. At present, yearly IT export raised up to 8 billion USD from Bangladesh, and employment generated number is 45,000 people. Bangladesh Network Infrastructure Project Phase 1, 2, and 3 built by Chinese company. China has 10 billion funds for Bangladeshi communication initiative under BRI concessional loans. Now let's talk about blue economy. China has invested heavily in Bangladesh maritime connectivity infrastructure like Chittagong Port, Mongla Port, Paira Port, as well as improving its Bangladesh's naval defense. When I talk about naval defense, the question comes about procuring 2 Chinese submarines by Bangladesh Navy. Submarine is an underwater platform for sea denial. It doesn't mean submarine will serve the purpose of any other country other than Bangladesh. For example, Bangladesh Air Force has bought C-130 aircraft from UK. Now, can I claim Bangladesh has bring back the British colonial era in this subcontinent? Answer is no. The submarine was made and sold by China, but the crew members are Bangladeshi. Command and control are very much under Bangladesh Navy. Electronic vehicles. EV technology are the latest sensation, and Bangladesh also joined this hype. Bangladesh has already launched the first electronic vehicle car named Palki by a homegrown company. Global EV giant BYD has signed MOU with Bangladeshi company Runner to install a joint venture in Bangladesh. Few Chinese companies are keen to invest in Bangladesh in EV electronics vehicles, lithium-ion batteries, and photovoltaic products, PV products, known as Nutrio. Project feasibility study by Bangladesh. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is now the longest serving head of state in the world.
Sir, can you conclude, please? We are running short of time.
Yes, I'm cutting short. Thank you very much. And in my eyes, she is the most patriotic person. Her government takes every project with due feasibility study. For example, Bangladesh has long wanted to build a deep sea port, and China came out with proposal for Shunadia, for Shunadia deep sea port, Para deep sea port, but having the feasibility study and it is not economically viable, so Bangladesh has scrapped those projects. Whereas Matarbari's deep sea port is building by Japan. Import policy of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has given direction on import policy, and that is import diversity, not depending on particular country or region. In contrast, ties to China among Bangladeshi businessmen are relevantly new, but evolving fast. They are seeing profits in Chinese investment, trade, and export ramp up across multi-sectors from physical to digital infrastructure. However, when we compare it with Bharat, Bharat is our next door neighbor, and freight charge is less than any other country of this world. So traders can open LC in the morning and get their goods in the evening. In terms of perishable goods, this is a huge opportunity. The time factor is significant. So importers' first choice till today is Bharat. Challenges in Bangladesh-China relation. So far, I have expressed only optimistic views. Now I will tell about some negative or public perception which are available in the market. Firstly, Bangladesh faces the challenge of hosting millions of Rohingya refugees. Beijing has failed to pressure the Myanmar military junta to solve this issue. Common public opinion is that China could face this Rohingya problem, but they didn't. As China has big project in Myanmar port, oil pipeline, and railway line connectivity Myanmar to Yunnan province of China. In future, people's frustration may rise if China maintains the current stand on Rohingya crisis. The issue could potentially damage China's friendly image in Bangladesh. Secondly, the growing trade imbalance between China and Bangladesh. Although China grants duty-free access 97% of Bangladeshi goods, both the countries have accepted trade in RMB, but still export for Bangladesh is lacking. Thirdly, water sharing. Bangladesh's northern area is suffering brutally due to the Farakka embarment by Bharat. Now, new concern is China's ambition to build dams along the upper Brahmaputra River, which has posed a serious concern in Bangladesh as a downstream country. If China carries out the plan, it could create a major setback to cool down the warm ties between Bangladesh and China. Recommendation. We must admit the true facts, follow the trend, realize the threats, and work to manage them, while preserving the scope of cooperation and negotiation. My recommendations are: Bangladesh has already diversified its supply of arms and defense hardware imports. It will be safe for Bangladesh if it can diversify more, de-risking the supply of military hardware. There is a need of Bangladeshi factories to scale up their made in Bangladesh arms and ammunition to reduce dependency on single supply source. Taking example from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh should be more careful about debt. For developing countries, debts are like sun. If you go too near, it will burning. If you remain too far, you will be in darkness. So all projects are to be studied and return of investment should be calculated. Bangladesh need to be vigilant and careful about FDI, that Chinese losing concern companies don't make Bangladesh a dumping place with their junk items. Bangladesh has shown its capacity by funding Podda Bridge. Now it's time to increase the capacity of executing product and the technology transfer and technical know-how. So in future, if developing partners can fund any project, Bangladesh can execute by its own manpower and technology. Challenges in sub-regional relations. Drawing the attention on sub-regional sectors, or my discussion will remain incomplete because as I can see the list of audience are from our continent. Bharat and Bangladesh are true friends, trusted neighbors, and valued partners. Bilateral relation can be termed as textbook example of neighborhood in modern world. Bilateral ties between Bangladesh and Bharat are so high that almost no domain remains untouched. Security, trade, transit, transshipment, connectivity, culture, and diverse range of engagement. Both the Prime Minister Modi and Sheikh Hasina have shown the priority of understanding. And the results are big projects like Coastal Survival Radar, Energy Corridor, Friendship Pipeline, Rampur Power Plant, Inland Waterway, Cross-Border Railway, etc. Bharat receives highest number of medical patients and tourists from Bangladesh. On the other hand, thousands of Bharati people are working in Bangladesh in RMG sector and developing both the country's economy. We appreciate Bharat for standing beside Bangladesh in 1971 and COVID-19 pandemic. In 71, we received food, shelter, training, arms ammunition from Bharat. And during COVID-19, we received vaccine, oxygen, PPE, and other life-saving equipment. So as I told in the beginning, I will inform you the public perception in the sub-regional challenges. Here it goes. 1. Tista water sharing agreement. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was about to sign the deal, but again, with the opposition of CM Mamata Banerjee, the deal stands still. Border killing need to be justified. Best if it is stopped. Bharat and Bangladesh has border of 4,096 kilometers, but the casualty is really high. Last 7 years survey said around 200 Bengali died, including service personnel, and in 2023 the number was 3013.
Can you conclude it now, because we are really running out of time. We won't have any. This is going beyond the purview of the lecture.
Right. And the line of credit which I talk about, it is yet to be implemented. And for example, the 4 line of credit was 7.5 billion, but up to December 2023, only 1 billion disbursement was done. Same as the aid and grants is also lowering. In last budget, it was 1.30 billion, the aid for Bangladesh, which is second in the bottom, just before Sri Lanka. So in conclusion, the world should have been perfect, but it is not. We cannot also expect it to be, but there need to be a way to deal with the constraint. Our position is to ease up doing business. We know no one is helping Bangladesh out of generosity, but out of interest. But Bangladesh is not a bad place for any country to create foothold in South Asia. Critics say Bangladesh's depending economy and strategic ties in China have raised concern in the US and Thai allies, as it may impact geopolitical balancing in South Asia. The growing Chinese investment in Bangladesh has potentials to reshape the geopolitical dynamics of this region. Considering the strategic location of Bangladesh, the growing relationship between Bangladesh and China is a worry for the China and its allies, for the US and its allies. Many analysts say US is concerned about Beijing growing regional influence through economic and efforts to the possibility of danger of law. As Bangladesh don't support any unfair competition, no nation qualified to give it direction. Bangladesh is a sovereign country, it has its sovereign outlook, and it will take decision what is best for Bangladesh. In last decade, we have seen such bold strategic step by our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Bangladesh seeks to manage the tension within Uncle Sam and Aaron Brothers metric. It pursues the cooperation with China as a tool of negotiation and development. Bangladesh foreign policy is now at a critical junction. We would like to see a shared world, leaving no one behind. It is a beautiful world. Let us see it with our open eyes and warm heart. I'd like to conclude with the optimistic quote from our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. In the year 2041, Bangladesh will become peaceful, prosperous, and developed place after crossing the status of middle-income country. Thank you very much. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Thank you very much indeed. It was a long lecture, went beyond the proposed topic. So I will restrict the questions only on the topic that was supposed to be, rather than, because in any geopolitical issue, there can be a long-lasting things. We are focusing actually just on Bangladesh-China partnership and its strategic implications. There are a number of questions in the chat room, but before I go to them, I may have a couple of questions myself. And I think you have already sort of alluded to it, that Bangladesh does not want to put all eggs in one basket, and Bangladesh is trying to diversify. Its economic cooperation, arms acquisition, so that there's no sole dependency, which is very, very laudable. But the fact is that right now, the maximum investment is coming from China. But even before BRI came into existence, if my memory serves me right, a private investment group called Tata, they had proposed an investment of $3 billion in Bangladesh in early 2000s. And there was a very hostile reception in Bangladesh to that project, to the extent that in 2007, Tata's refused to carry out with the offer because there were problems in domestic Bangladesh situation, and the proposal for investment, which was a commercial investment by a private entrepreneur group into Bangladesh. Do you have any comments on that?
As I mentioned, that the last decade of India, Bharat-Bangladesh bilateral relation is unprecedented. And last 10 years, we have seen lots of things happening. But before 2008, the scenario was very different. And even our port has been used to arm the Seven Sister rebels. There was situation. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina gave the neighborhood priority, and security became her first priority. So she has managed to control this militancy and extremism. This is the first sense that what she created. And other than this, now Adani is also involved. We have this cross-border railway link and friendship pipeline, energy corridor. So the political shift is there. Earlier, there was leading by BNP and coalition who were more pro-Pakistan. And Sheikh Hasina has chosen the priority of neighborhood first. And she as I have mentioned, our Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman wanted a shared world with technological transfer. And she is also in the right path. She is using the technology and available advanced technology of the neighborhoods first. And also, these are Sheikh Hasina who gave transit to Bharat. And I have mentioned from Tripura to Kolkata, it's a transit route. And it was a very much our opposition BNP has opposed about it to the high content, but Sheikh Hasina did what she felt better for Bangladesh, for the Bangladesh interests sort first.
So it's good that you are looking at the example of Sri Lanka, and maybe a number of African countries that are indebted under the BRI. And example of Malaysia, which restricted Chinese investment into Malaysian railways because of unequal terms and possibility of debt dependency. So that is all good. You know that recently in Bangladesh, there is a movement, and I'll refer to it, it's called India Out. And this is a copycat movement from Maldives, where the current president of Maldives started India Out as an electoral campaign.
Right.
So one wonders what is happening in Bangladesh with this India Out movement.
This is a very relevant question for me because I also have made a content for Bangladesh Awami League on this issue that was in Bengali. So the India Out movement is a media hype. I must say that the people who are living in England, France, they are mainly patronizing it, and it's a media hype campaign because in my lecture also I mentioned that India is our neighbor and the freight charge is lower than any other country of the world. And India's export to Bangladesh is less than 3% of what they export in the whole world. So if, for debate say, if the campaign is successful, it doesn't hamper anything of India, but it of course hamper in Bangladesh because Bangladesh don't produce all the goods and all quality goods in Bangladesh. So if they don't take it, if we don't take it from India, we have to take from other countries. So again, it will be a losing game. But as I have told you that I go to villages and 570 villages in my constituency where I belong to. So there in the villages, there is nothing called India Out. All the goods are Indian because it is cheap. Because if we are taking onion from India, it is the same rate. If we take it from China, the freight high, the refrigerator container, everything will go up. So actually, it's a media hype, I will say, and also political mindset. But in general or in reality, it has a very less effort. But again, I must say that the purchaser are in full liberty. They can buy whatever they want, whichever product they can afford. But those people who are creating rumors, who are creating propaganda, they are actually not being honest to themselves, and people who follow them, they are being fooled by this media propaganda. I must say this.
So there's a question in the chat room about strategic issues and strategic partnership with Bangladesh and China, especially this Cox's Bazar, BNS, Sheikh Hasina submarine naval base. And the question is very specific. Can Bharat expect genuine neutrality from Bangladesh when needed during military stressful situation between Bharat and China, now and in future?
Bangladesh and Bharat is a trusted partner. And about this Sheikh Hasina submarine base, it's a nothing came overnight. It was under our forces goal 2030 that we have a three-dimensional navy. So we had a good deal with China and we bought it. Now it's a submarine is for sea denial. It's not a attacking sort of platform. It's an underwater platform. Like if submarine is there, there will not be any aircraft carrier there to come, like which we have experienced in 1971. The US used to send their fleet. This sort thing of not happen. So this is a defense strategic step that Bangladesh have taken, and we don't think India as a opponent or threat. We are neighbors and partners. So This is my personal opinion. There is no such issues. And the submarine we bought, the crew and maintenance staffs are very much Bangladeshi, and the submarine is under control of Bangladesh Navy. So there is nothing to think, scope of negative thinking in my eyes.
Chinese presence in Indian Ocean region is increasing. Chinese research vessels, Chinese submarines are surfacing around India, have got a, sort of hold in Maldives. Sri Lanka has restricted Chinese vessels from their sort of ports for a year. So the same concern is there. If China builds that submarine base, will Chinese submarines lurking in the Bay of Bengal using the Bangladeshi submarine base as a kind of toehold? That's the concern. In case there are hostilities between China and Bharat, the relationship is not good. There are soldiers eyeball to eyeball in Galwan and in Doklam also with tri-junction with Bhutan. So the concern is that will China leverage this Cox's Bazar naval base? Because concern is not about Bangladeshi submarines. Concern is China using this submarine base for their own naval assets against India.
I got it. So I would like to answer this question like this. Any sovereign country have their naval base, airport, and it is not that any country wishes to come and use it. If they want to use it, there need to be MOU and agreement signed. For example, Bharati can use the Chengi naval base, but if they want to use Bangladesh, again they need to have this sort of understanding and dealing done. So as far as China is concerned, there is no such deal on the table or agenda. And I don't think there is something which are coming in future. And I don't think there is something which are coming in future. So my opinion is not that.
There has been a concern with BRI investments in African countries and experience in Pakistan with CPEC. Wherever China has invested, they actually send Chinese engineers and Chinese workers and don't actually allow local workers to participate in the infrastructure development. And what it does that it brings thousands of Chinese workers, single males, who then start marrying local women. And there's a lot of trafficking of females from Pakistan to China going on at this point in time as part of CPEC. And some of the African countries have also expressed this concern. And I think in some of the areas in Bangladesh, this is becoming an issue. How do you think Bangladesh will deal with this? China is under a demographic stress because number of females per 1,000 males is much less. Chinese men are not able to get Chinese brides, so they go to other countries as workers, single male, and then they start marrying into the local population. Is that an issue for Bangladesh?
In my presentation also, I have mentioned that Bangladesh is taking careful and calculative steps as far as China is concerned, keeping the example of Sri Lanka. And Bangladesh is also looking for a technological transfer. So Bangladesh common engineers and workers are working in the projects. Also, in many cases, Bangladesh Army is also doing these joint ventures. So Bangladesh is not only focusing on development infrastructure, but also technology transfer. So this point is clear. And next, you wanted to know about this soft power, what is meant. As in my presentation, I have seen that China is expanding its soft power like scholarships, then Confucius institutes. So definitely they are looking at it, but Bangladesh is also very careful about it, and Bangladesh is taking careful steps so that nothing such thing happens.
Bangladesh has purchased fighter aircraft from China. Will Bangladesh consider purchasing Tejas Mk1 and Mk2 versions from India?
This is a tough question for me to answer. And I think our foreign minister also visited India recently. And I will give the same answer what he has given. It's a defense minister who is the prime minister herself. So maybe she is the right person to answer. But as I have also trained undergoing training in Coimbatore AFS Air Force Academy Admin College. So I think there is possibility.
You did mention about Chinese diversion of Brahmaputra River. Now, unfortunately, China has occupied Tibet, and all the rivers that are being originating in the country of Tibet, China is diverting it to up north. And it's not a question of if, it's already ongoing. Does Bangladesh have a long-term view on this diversion of river waters from Tibetan Plateau to up north and linking with Yellow River?
Yes, I have also mentioned in my presentation too that this thing is going to make the gap between friendly gesture of Bangladesh and China. And water is a need. Water is a need for human being, environment, and especially agriculture sector. Especially our northern side are drying up because of weather. So this is a matter to be discussed on table, and we have multi-level of discussion going on from bilateral issues, then by UN, and also climate vulnerable forums. So we cannot force anything, but we can keep trying, we can keep engaging, and the door of negotiation should be open for not only for the sufferers, from both the sides, that I believe.
There's a question which is slightly different, but I will read it anyhow. Mohammed Hasnath is asking, how about considering Bangladesh joining IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, rather than focusing on BRI?
Actually, this isn't a note yet on the table. Maybe if it comes up, there will be discussion. Then we can comment. But actually, it is too early to comment. But definitely, I believe as Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has started the philosophy of connectivity, so Bangladesh can join.
I think we are running out of time. Thank you very much indeed to Squadron leader Sadrul Ahmed Khan, one of the youngest people to give distinguished lecture for CSA. This is his first time on our platform, but we hope that he will engage in discussions, not just as a distinguished lecturer, but also in other forums, including roundtable discussion and strategically speaking with Dr. Adityanjee one-on-one interviews. So we are highly thankful to you for taking time off and making this presentation. I'm also thankful to our viewers who on a Saturday weekend found almost 1.5 hours of time to participate in this lecture, especially in United States where we are based and registered, because this Saturday morning around 10 to 11:30 a.m. all good things have to come to end. So this program also has to come to end, and I see that questions are being put in the chat room as I am extending my vote of thanks. So there is a question by Shekhem Walang. Point to be noted, India did help liberate Bangladesh, not just supplies or necessities in 1971. So I'll just mention that and thank him for making a note of this. I guess current and future political dispensations in Bangladesh should not, wash away that fact that ultimately India did sacrifice by blood for the Bangladeshi brothers to be liberated from the clutches of occupiers and colonizers. So that we have actually sort of given our blood to liberate this country. That should not be forgotten. I'm also thankful to Team CSA. Specific individuals are Mr. Rajiv Verma, Mr. Ripudaman Pachori, Ms. Chitkala Khela. This is a technical team that works behind the scenes. You don't see them, but they work very hard. They work very hard to make these kind of events possible. I don't have technical expertise, but our technical team works day in, day out in volunteer capacity to organize these programs. So I'm highly thankful to them also. And before ending the program, I would like to make an announcement. Considering the focus CSA has on Indo-Pacific, there are troubling issues going around in Indo-Pacific, specifically in West Philippine Sea, around Philippines. There is Chinese aggression and belligerence by Chinese Coast Guard against Philippines naval assets. As we speak, China is encircling Taiwan and trying to induce a blockade. So we will have a roundtable discussion on Saturday, June 8th. And the topic for that roundtable discussion is going to be collective East Asian and Southeast Asian security. Because if there are hostilities that affects the entire world, because Indo-Pacific is a trade route through 55% of world's commerce passes, commercial, maritime, mercantile, shipping routes, sea lanes of communication go through Indo-Pacific. So we will hope to have good attendance and good discussion at that point in time. Unfortunately, our time is ending. So thank you very much indeed, Squadron Leader Sadrul Ahmed Khan. And we hope that we will continue to have your participation and presence in programs. Thank you very much indeed.